The Ministry of Digital Culture, Media and Sport seems to be a stepping stone, a transit location, rather than an end in itself, rather than a purpose. Now, many people have given their lives to working for digital media, culture and sport, work in the arts, work in the sports and so on. And I think it's interesting to know that the various culture ministers who we've had recently, Oliver Dowden, who stepped away, so he stepped through the ministry of DCMS and became the chairman of the Conservative Party, not a terribly good one, and then Nadine Dorries. Well, what can one say about her? She didn't answer her mail, she didn't get any laws through, and she's stepped from there into a seat in the House of Lords, which may or may not exist by the time she gets there. Meanwhile, we learn that Nadine Dorries doesn't feel happy unless she's written 1,000 words every day. We should possibly add the word readable or possibly not into that sentence. And now we've got Michelle Donelan. Michelle Donelan. I can't remember her name. Isn't that strange? Because that's really the point of this story. Because she was at a select committee, and she was asked by John Nicholson. John Nicholson is the person who wanted to take Nadine Dorries to the Privileges Committee because she had apparently lied, and the evidence is fairly strong. The production company Love Productions, Channel 4, the committee itself, the DCMS committee itself, all found her evidence was unconvincing. She lied, in other words. That's what they said, that's what they implied, that's what they thought, and yet the Speaker, Hoyle, decided not to take it any further. Why? And at the same time, she is rewarded. So again, another stepping stone. And here we get Michelle Donelan, Michelle something. I can't remember her name. Isn't that ironic? I can't remember her name because she was asked, what was the name? John Nicholson, this splendid man, asked, what was the name of the Scottish Minister of Culture, the SNP Minister of Culture up in Scotland, with whom presumably she is working as a member of the Conservative and Unionist Party to start with, and with whom of course she is working as the person who heads the digital culture, media and sport. So presumably she's spoken to this person regularly. She didn't know his name. I can remind her, or in fact, maybe it's entirely new information because maybe she, in all her time in the digital culture, media and sport ministry, of which she is the minister, she hasn't actually spoken to him. His name is Angus Robertson. He was quite important in the SNP. He was the leader of the SNP for a while. And yet, she doesn't know who he is. Now, is this stupidity, or is this a matter of not caring? Or is she just simply pig ignorant? We've got three options. And at the time, when she was asked to name this person, she just smiled in an inane, oh, silly me way. And there was laughter. There was laughter, and it seemed to be sort of genial laughter. No, if I'd been there would have been laughter at her. This is shameful. This is shameful. It not only displays a contempt by her ministry, by the Conservative Party maybe, by the government for Scotland. And how can this government hope to maintain the union when they treat people in the devolved parliaments like this? How can they hope to maintain the union? And this is her job. She doesn't have anything else to do. She clearly doesn't answer mail. She's clearly taken the impulse from Nadine Dorries. She doesn't answer letters. There's one waiting for her, by the way, if she ever gets to hear of this. There's one waiting for her, and I expect a reply, and not a fob off. I mean, what does she do? What did her predecessor do? What did her predecessors do? This is a stepping stone to something else, and it's time the government recognise that there are people who work in this industry who work very hard and who need support rather than fobbing off. You know, the digital media, culture and sport industry is not pebbles to be thrown into a river. The digital media, culture and sport brings in a lot of money. I personally think the ministry should be split up. But I think, first of all, it should be run by somebody who can actually do their job.